All right, hello everyone. I'm Daniel,
I'm Kim.
and today we have with us Marilyn,
Hello.
our first guest ever, which is kind of crazy. We never thought about doing guests on the other podcast, and then we were like, we're doing only guests for this one.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, it gives me something to do right now, and I really appreciate the opportunity. I've never been a guest before, so this is amazing.
So we met Marilyn. Well, Kim, how did you meet Marilyn before?
Oh no, the first time we met, we were complaining about something at school in our one film professor's office. That was the first time.
I wish it was a better circumstance, but
yeah. And then we met because we had class, and I literally was like, I'm gonna befriend all of the girls that are in that class. So
That's a good move.
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then
Yeah, we met when we were filming, us plugging our short film in every single podcast, but
time.
Yeah.
So basically when I was the short film was actually gonna happen, I was like, okay, because Euphoria just came out that past summer, so obviously I was very inspired by it, and I was like, we should do that for my movie, especially because our main character is very materialistic. That's one of her character traits. She's materialistic. She very much cares about her appearance, and Marilyn would always show up to class with really cool makeup. So then I was just and she always dressed nice too. So I was like, would you like to
you were like
I know, literally, I was like, can you do the makeup for my movie, please? And she said yes. So
yeah.
And it was alright.
Yeah, that's one of that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. The makeup looks so good, the entire time. And you can see in the stills, the makeup is stands out from everything else. It looks so good. So I'm excited for that.
And we talk about the movie, I'm like, if we didn't have makeup, it just wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah.
The regular makeup you see, it just would not. I just don't think I would be as fulfilled.
Okay, so Marilyn, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got interested in doing this, and then what kind of specific field you want to get into, or if you don't, just anything that you want to end up doing in Hollywood?
I have no idea. I really
have great.
It's it's comforting to know that there are a lot of people out there that really don't have an idea, but I feel like I've always had a very close relationship with film, because my father always went to, he was a kid and he fell asleep in theaters. It was a safe little place in Mexico. And then when he had kids, whenever we would have free time, he'd just be like, Mika, let's go to the movie theater. Every single memory that I have is me going to movies with him, and then me being home alone and just clicking on HBO and just watching all these films. And my parents always told me that it was super weird for someone my age to just be completely still, just staring and not crying and wanting to get out. I was just able to be super still, and it was just a moving picture book to me. And it emotionally instilled me, and I just was something I had a close relationship with. So then I always had it, and then I got to college and I was like, man, what do I do? I was thinking about the money aspect, and then I was like, F that. No. I was like, okay, what is my heart's desire and what thrills me? And I was like, well, I could do a form of kill many people. It's a universal language. You could watch foreign films and you can still understand the emotion in it. So I am majoring in communications. I have an emphasis in TV and film. I also have a new minor in Spanish, so wish me luck.
That's exciting. So what kind of genres are you into, or what's your favorite movie? What kind of things do you want to do at some point?
Well, that's always the hardest question to answer. It's always changing. It's always something that I maybe revisit that I watched maybe 2 years ago, and it's my favorite movie again. But in terms of like genres, I definitely am into like neo-noir, sort of like 80s, and also just like really weird experimental film. I can say that like my favorite film that I watched right now is something that just came out on Netflix. And I guess it's like, once I tell you, and if you guys have seen it, you guys can get an idea of like, what I'm into. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
I
Yeah.
literally
So
knew you were
good.
gonna say that. I literally knew.
I did too. I did too.
Like, I just like something
It
that
freaked me
it's
out.
so good. It freaks you out, but it's just like, I'm super into those type of movies. I'm a freaking like cult follower of David Lynch. Like, I'm just super into like atmospheric, really weird, really dreamy, almost like scary movies, but I'm so into just like everything. I'm really into everything, essentially.
Mhm.
Like,
The fact that you mentioned David Lynch makes so much sense. Like, just knowing you, like, that makes so much sense.
yeah,
And,
like, yeah, like he's just, I'll get into that later though, but like, but like, yeah, like I think like the first thing I ever saw was like Twin Peaks, and I already was like, you know, huge like fan of just like watching anything and watching films in general, but once I came across David Lynch, I was like, I found it. This is like what it is. This makes sense. This is what I like, because it's so dreamy, but then it's like something's not right here. It just feels stuck in a weird way. It just feels like you're like falling asleep, because you know how dreams feel weird,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like scary at the same time. It's just so crazy how he's able to capture that. But I'm really into like the very like horror, like a little going towards horror as well.
Okay.
Cheesy stuff as well. I think that's where I get a lot of like makeup inspiration, because I did do like before the pandemic hit, I did do a clown film for the student films on CalLu. So as soon as someone was like, hey, I'm doing a clown film, it's gonna be scary, I need a lot of blood, I was like, right here, like I'll help you with that. I'm like I'm into like death, like I got the VHS, all of them.
Oh my
Here.
god.
Yeah,
That's
like
so cool.
I'm just like a geek for that, all that stuff. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. When you said David Lynch, I think that captured it. It just made perfect sense. Okay, so we're looking forward to see what else you're gonna end up doing, because Kim and I both think your work is like the coolest thing ever. We literally always like will like randomly start talking about it.
I talk
So
about it every time somebody asks me about my short film.
yeah. You're like, by the way, the makeup. Okay, so our topic today is very timely. So we're kind of going to be talking a little bit about how like COVID-19 and like the world that we're living in right now is going to affect like the future of film, and how it already is. So some of these like films that we're going to talk about are specifically like the genre is kind of like Corona, which is a new genre of movie that we're apparently going to be seeing a lot of. And then some of these we're going to be talking a little bit about like the marketing of and how movie theaters are going to like deal with releasing these movies, and how they've already dealt with it a little bit. So first let's talk about Tenet. Did anyone see it?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I want to so bad.
I want to. Yeah, I don't want to risk my life to watch it, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how, because I saw somebody I know that lives in San Diego went to go see it, but I was like, what movie theaters in San Diego are open? I think it looked like AMC.
I think the Regals are open. I got an email about it.
Not the Regals in California. Like the one near my house. Near our house.
I did read somewhere that they are gonna release it. I don't know if you guys have heard of West Wind Drive-In. It's like there's one in Santa Barbara and there's some around. And I get the newsletter, so I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had read that they were gonna release Tenet somewhere, but not in Santa Barbara, which I was bummed about. But like there's some up north, and I was like thinking, me and my manic self, I was like, should I drive 4 hours to see Tenet? Is that worth it? And I was like, no. I really wish.
Because he wants it to be shown on like a certain like film, and like if like a lot of drive-in theaters I feel like don't have that capability because of their drive-in theaters and they're not popular anymore, which is a crime, to be honest. So I think that's the issue I have with it is like, I think to some extent, I think it's because it's Christopher Nolan. And because he's Christopher Nolan, he feels like he can like make the industry do that.
Like that's not, I feel like that's not, I love the drive-in, but I don't know if I would want to watch like new movies there, because when it's dark, you can't really, some of the scenes you literally, they just look black because like the projector just can't capture like the dark, like, I don't know how to explain this. Like when the scene is really dark, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I love the drive-in, but I don't know if I want to see.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you should have just waited.
It all depends, because like, I mean, I went to go see like they were playing old like movie. They were playing Candles by John Hughes at the Santa Barbara one by my house. And I went to go see it, and I mean, I love the nostalgia behind drive-in movies, but there is like a lot of cons right now in terms of that, because I literally parked and I was like with my friend, and then the reception was completely off, and like it was just so much static over like the dialogue that I was constantly having to reverse, go into another spot, reverse, go into another spot, and I was like, wait, is that close? And it's like I can't hear anything. And it's on top of that, like your car audio system is not going to do the dialogue, music, everything. It's going to make the atmosphere 100% what it should be, which is like, I can understand why Nolan's like, no, I don't want to do that. Because like, do you really want to hear Hans Zimmer through your, like, or do you want it in IMAX sound, or do you want it in your car? Like, I have heard it in my car before, but it's like, no, I would honestly choose IMAX, like pure. Like,
I just think it's interesting that he chose to do it still now, when like a lot of other videos like have pushed it till next year.
Exactly. I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll wait to see it, but now it's like, I don't know.
I literally talked to my brother. I'm like, if he can just pull a Frank Ocean, people will want it more. Want it. I think I heard like literally like, oh, Blonde's coming, and it's like, okay, I'll wait.
Yeah,
I'll wait. And like a year passed, and I'm like, other people were like, oh, we want it, and I'm like, listen, you don't rush it. It'll come, and it'll be great. And was it great? It was great. You have to wait. And I was like, I don't know. I guess he just didn't want to. I guess I had read something about he really wanted, because of like, he's so about aesthetic, I guess, about like having the movie be seen by people wearing masks and how the world is right now and how it would fit into the narrative. And I'm like, Nolan, sir, no.
Very much an art.
Like the Rona isn't an aesthetic. Like, don't make it an aesthetic.
Yeah, no.
Nolan romanticized coronavirus.
No.
No. I don't want to like. So I have my regular mask, and then I have my N95, and the N95 is when I'm in like situations where like I really need to wear it, right? Mm-hmm. It is so uncomfortable. It is such an uncomfortable mask. Like, it hurts here behind the ears and everything, and there are different measures in different theaters that are like, oh, you can take it off when you're in the audience, or you can leave it on. I want to leave it on if I were to go, but I do not want to sit through a 2-hour movie with that thing on my face. That's just not an option. I'm going to be so uncomfortable. I'm literally going to be thinking about like, ouch, my face, ouch, my ears, instead of like, what's going on. I'm probably going to walk out. Like, I'm not going to be able to take it. It's not worth it. And there are nasties out there still going to like the theater and getting popcorn and still like eating,
like taking off their mask
in the theater. And I'm like, and they're like, popcorn? Like, no, that's so nasty. I was like, no, all those droplets, hell no.
All the corona droplets.
The same vein, like a new movie that just released, but it's like streaming. I know like Trolls World Tour did that, but like that was like at the beginning of quarantine, and it did really well, right? Like it did incredibly well. But like I'm not the demographic, so I didn't watch it when it came out. But another new movie that just came out on a streaming platform is Mulan, and I did watch that. I would say save your $30, especially now that I know a lot of the controversy. And I've been watching a lot of video essays about like the issues with it, and I'm just like, yeah. Honestly, I couldn't pay attention. I didn't like it. I'm sorry, Disney.
there's just some things, and I stand by this, some things you should just leave animated. There's a certain magic. It's Disney for a reason.
My biggest issue with it is that they took out key things from the animated, like, because they wanted to make a Chinese, like an honorable Chinese rendition of it, right? But they didn't have any of the writers were Chinese. None of the writers were Chinese. The cinematographer wasn't Chinese. The director wasn't Chinese. They were all white. So how are you going to sit there and say you want to make like a Chinese movie, but you're not even... At least Crazy Rich Asians had a Chinese director. Like, come on. Like, you're meant to leave, you know what I'm saying? And like, they took out Mushu, they took out Li Shang, and then like quick spoiler, like all of the freaking like the soldiers that were her friends, they basically didn't use them at all.
That's
right.
The
all these
part.
Key relationships, because the biggest thing that makes you love her is like she was still able to like make these relationships with people, right? Even though she was like lying essentially, right? And like no, and then they added a bunch of things. They added a bunch of things that didn't like. God, it's so.
I can't believe it because those friends are so important because like obviously like they all leave her on the mountain. Sorry, spoilers. I don't know if anyone has seen the original Mulan. You should have already. But like they leave her on the snow, like on the mountain, like right, and after they find out that she's a woman. But like at the very end of the movie, all of her friends, all those 3 men, they like go by her side, and they're not like, hey, we're gonna take over. They're like, no, you're leading, and we're supporting you. That is the most important part. They're like, and yeah, we're like, tell us what to do. Tell us what to do.
Their friendship grow. Strangers to like. She was like unsure, and then like they totally accepted her even when she was revealed to be a woman. Like I just and they got rid of the grandma too. They got rid of the grandma.
That's too much.
God,
nothing.
No, I'm not watching it.
They replaced Mushu with like a phoenix, but it was like a mystical phoenix. But they also didn't use the phoenix at all. Like, no, okay, so like they had a bunch of things that were new, but they didn't establish like good character development nor relationships between them. They're like, here's a new love interest. Like, if you're gonna take out Li Shang, then don't have a love interest at all. Like, why did you need to put another love interest? I thought the whole reason they took out the love interest, it was to focus on like the powerful woman. The fact that Elsa is more of an independent woman than the new Mulan is absolutely.
Oh my god! So, what would you rate it out of 10?
I would say like a 2 out of 10, like 2 or 3 out of 10. I did not like it at all. It was not entertaining at all. I'm so sorry, Disney. But you really flopped on this one.
Listen, you don't have to apologize. They need to like stop with like they did. I haven't seen any of them because it's like, well, obviously like the Disney movies are very political in terms of like what they tell like girls, like, oh yeah, have a man save you. But like the animation that they have is very magical, and that's the whole thing behind Disney. It's just like the magic behind everything. It's a magical world, and their animation is so special. So I'd rather just keep it that way. Yeah. Like there's something so magical about, you know, like Cinderella and like Beauty and the Beast, Mulan. I need Li Shang to sing "Make a Man Out of You." I need that.
Oh my god! And the scene that they replaced, oh my god, it just didn't. Everything that they changed, I was excited. I was like ready to see like the new rendition, and then it just like I was like, what? I was like, why? And I think at a certain point, I literally went on my phone because I'm like sitting at my house and I'm like, I don't even need to pay attention. That's how you know it's bad when I reach for my phone. That's how you know. Like it was just so bad. And like, I don't know. I think also like when you go into a Disney movie, you know it's a Disney movie, right? Like you have a certain expectation for how it's gonna be, right? But like Disney, I think, set this expectation that Mulan was going to be like a little bit different. It's going to be like a little edgier, like a little more, you know? That's kind of like what they marketed as. And no. They would like go a little bit and then be like, never mind, no more.
They're like,
never mind.
I think with how like Marilyn was saying how like when you watch a Disney movie, but like the original ones, the art is in the animation. And so like for example, I think like recently like a tweet went viral. People were like, oh, like a live action Coraline, who would you cast? But I think Coraline doesn't work if you make it live action, you know? So I think some things, like you said, some things just need to stay animated.
No.
That should be like another show in of itself. Like, what is it with like the public interest in everything live action? Like, what is the importance of that? Like, why can't we just leave things to be clay animated and like, or just like animated? Like, what is it that like drives people to like, oh yeah, let's just make this live action? It's like, it's not the same thing as like, oh, but make it fashion. It's like, oh, but make it like live action. It's like, no, it's not gonna work. It's like there's certain things that you just cannot make live action. Like the certain way that you like animate someone's like face features, you're not gonna be able to like replicate that on a human face.
And I think actually, like them dropping Mulan on a streaming platform again, like it I feel like if I were to see like none of the live action movies I have wanted to see outside of a theater. I feel like I watched those so I could see it in a theater experience, and like the fact that like I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to like safely feel like going to a theater is just something that has been bothering me for the last week, especially with like looking like preparing for this podcast. Like it's just so upsetting. I'm just really upset about it, and like I was anticipating all these new movies, like freaking Dev Patel as the Green Knight, bro.
Stop.
Oh my god.
No, you know, what was that one? There was some musical that was going to come out, and I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, I'm going to cry. And then I don't even... In the Heights. Oh my... I'm so sad. But that has to be in the movies. I'll wait 4 years. I don't care. I'm watching that in a theater.
Anthony Ramos deserves his moment, is what I say. Like, he deserves that. Like, I really hope that they don't release it on a streaming platform, because I think Anthony Ramos is such a great actor. Like, for me, like in A Star Is Born, like he stole like a lot of the scenes. Like, he was very subtle. He was like a very subtle character, but like he was necessary for me, at least. Also, maybe I'm just like swayed because I literally love him, and I can't wait for him to like be an A-list movie star. And I know that this movie is gonna like project him into that, because I feel like he's a good person. He deserves it. So I really hope that they wait. I don't know if they will.
Well, speaking of no, I have faith. I think that they will, because they haven't said anything about it. So I believe that they will. But also, like how you were saying, like he deserves his moment. Like that new Janelle Monáe movie, the horror one, they were like, yeah, they're releasing it on streaming, I think like in 2 weeks. And I was like, I was so excited to see her in like a big movie, and then they're like, just kidding, we're gonna just throw it on. Which, like, I get it, like, I will pay to see it, but I would have much rather seen it in a movie theater than on my...
It's an experience, dude, like, seeing things in a movie theater. I think especially, like, as film students, like, I think we especially appreciate the nuances of a movie theater. Like, it's just, like, it's...
And also, the people that you take with you.
All of us grew up going to the movie theater. Like, all of us did. Like, that's where, like, I would say our happiest moments are. So, like, it's just really upsetting to see.
I just, like, honestly, it's, like, a movie theater with, like, people that just have that little, like, capacity to, like, they have that love for it. Because, like, I know I love my brother all my heart, but it's been so difficult getting him to watch movies with me. And then we literally, we went through the whole Harry Potter movies just for fun because we wanted to, right? And like, this guy he has selective memory, because he has his own thing that he's interested in, and then I have mine. My selective memory is film and like historical things. So I got that down to a T. I'm like, yeah, that actor, he was in this, and this was the story of this movie. So we literally every Wednesday would watch a Harry Potter movie, and then we would watch the next one, and he's like, wait, why is that happening? I don't remember. And I was like, but we literally just watched it. I'm like, don't you remember? He was like, but I don't remember that. And I'll like explain the whole thing, and he's like, I don't remember that. And I'm like, dude, I was like, oh my God, I need to see a movie with someone that can like regain this stuff. Like, I love him and he's trying, but it's so hard. It is so hard.
And going to the theater with someone and then like talking about the movie after, like on the way, like in
Yeah.
the car or whatever, that's part of the experience, and that's one of the best parts.
Me spiraling, like, I miss that so much. See, unlimited minutes now.
Oh wow, thank you, Zoom. Anyway, sorry, we're recording on Zoom, and they were like, just you can record as long as you want. So Zoom is a fan. So and now we're going to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna transition.
I was too. Okay.
Like, because I feel like now we're getting. I know, I feel like as we all are film people, especially ones that want to go into the industry, and like how this is gonna affect our job searches, how sets are like moving, and like there's so many things to unpack, and I have a long list of things that I would like to get through. The first thing being like, the stories that we're going to be able to see are going to be limited. Like the things that are able to film now during Corona. So like, for example, Zendaya announced that she made a movie in quarantine with, what's his name? The guy, John David Washington. Sorry, I like completely blanked on his name. John David Washington and Sam Levinson, who is the creator of Euphoria. They filmed a secret quarantine movie called Malcolm and Marie, and I was reading up on it, and they basically filmed in like a house, like, and all of the team like quarantined together, and then like the administrative team quarantined like a different spot, and like there was like a whole list of things. I don't really want to get into it. You can read the article if you want to. It's on W Magazine. If you look up Zendaya quarantine movie, W Magazine is the article I read. But like, that's the only stories that are going to be pretty much allowed to, things that are in a controlled setting. And like for example, on the other hand, like Sam Levinson and Zendaya have Euphoria, which is already like set in a bunch of different locations, and they film a lot in like public and like different locations. And like, if you've seen like the behind the scenes of Euphoria, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of moving parts to that. So that's going to be on the back burner. So it's like, we don't know when they're going to pick up again, or how they're going to be able to pick up again to the capacity that they were to like, keep up with season 1. So like, I'm just nervous. And especially because I was looking at how big the crew was, and it was only 12 people. Only 12 people on that crew for that.
Oh my God.
And I literally, and like, that's heartbreaking to me, because I know Sam Levinson isn't going to use a new person like me on his film. I know that he's going to use the people that he knows are reliable. So as somebody who is literally not even a toe into the film industry, I am stressed because no one's going to choose me, because I don't have connections. No one's going to choose me to be their PA on their set, because like, now they're just going to make everybody, like the people that have like years on me on the film industry, as the people that are on the set. So I'm stressed. I don't know about you guys. You guys have one year left.
Get an intern,
so like, but
and everything's remote. I mean, there's still some available, and I'm so scared to like, I don't know, like I know I need to, right? But it's like, I needed to graduate, as a communication major, you need to have an internship to graduate. Either that or like a project of some sorts that you can get approved. But I want an internship, because the whole reason why I want that is that I could learn hands-on. I'm such a hands-on person, and I want to talk to people, and I want to get to know them, and I want to know the ins and outs of so many positions that I could do, see what like I don't like and what I do. But it's just so sad to me that whenever I look up on services like, or just like online in general, everything's like intern remote, and I'm like, great, so I can't even be there. I mean, it's like a double-edged sword, because it's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have to drive all the way to Santa Monica or LA or Hollywood, but it's like at the same time I'm losing the opportunity to like be in an elevator, like those little moments where it's like I'm grabbing I'm in the bathroom and I see someone that I recognize, and I'll be nervous as heck, but like introduce myself, you know, like, oh, hey, I'm a big fan of your work, and I just wanted to say, you know, I'm an intern here. If you ever need a or intern company, hey, here's like, can I send you my email, like my resume or something? That's lost. I can't do that.
Fresh rash right now.
So because
I
everything's
got myself
remote.
worked up.
Yeah, that's so depressing. Oh my god,
It's so sad, and like, I just don't know.
I hadn't even thought about that, and then you guys started saying all that, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so sad.
Because we remember each other on like our ass off for like props from ATG. Like we started talking about it, and it was just like, yeah.
Like I know. I'm okay, like of course it's like far-fetched, but other thing to get into is like I won't touch upon it a lot, but it does have to do with like the interns that they're gonna hire and everything. But recently the Academy Awards, the Oscars, they're doing something new that's going to be issued in 2024, that in order to qualify for Best Picture and to be nominated, they need to be there's certain guidelines that need to be followed. Everything needs to be diverse. Like you need to have diverse interns, diverse like administration, like all this. It's like 10 different things. And like I saw it with my brother, and it literally said that like interns need to be diverse, and like then like all down like who's cutting out the checks, like payroll, like the whole team, a part of the film needs to be diverse, and at least one like character in the movie needs to be like not like cameo or background, like someone that's like a leading supporting character needs to be a person of color. And I was like, whoa, that's very important. And it took them how long? It took, I know, I think I just saw it, like it just literally so brand new, and I was so shocked. And my brother and I watched it, and he was like, dude, like you need to go on your cover letter and just literally let me know every single sentence like right now. And I was like, oh my god, true. But it's just like get my foot in there. Hey, I'm Latina.
Yeah.
Get me in there. But it's just still like it's so, I don't know. I know HBO is looking for interns. I know A24 is also, but I don't know. I've heard HBO is nice and A24 is nice. I wouldn't be getting coffee, which is like another plus. So I guess but it's like,
Coffee's looking fun though.
I mean, coffee runs, I don't mind, but at the same time, I haven't seen anything of like what's the life of a remote intern right now. That's what I want to see. Are you getting what you're asking for? You know, like I'm not saying that I have all these expectations, but I want to freaking learn, and I want like to just be hands-on on everything. And that's just so frustrating that like I need to stress out about like my senior year, and then like also get an internship that I feel interested in and that I could also learn a lot from, to get my foot in the door and like hopefully like find something that I like, and then like just hopefully get a job. But yeah, like you just said, Kim, everything's like, oh, let's just get the old reliables. We don't need any new people. And it's like, no, please. No.
So that's why I think it's very important. I don't know, like, I think that's another reason I want this to do well so bad, because I want this to like, yeah, it's a podcast, but I also want it to be like a community. And I think like us as young people that don't have as many years experience as other people, we need to like come together and like we can figure it out. Like there's power in numbers, and like I know us like people out there, we have like-minded individuals like in our corner. Like we can have the power. Like if we all like sat down on like a Zoom call, like who says like Christopher Nolan and Sam Levinson and like all these people are the only people that get to make movies during this time? Like no. And that kind of leads into like what Daniel was talking to me about hosts, if you want to talk more about that.
Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about like some media content that was filmed entirely like during this, and so one that I saw was a horror film called Host, and the entire thing was shot through Zoom, which at first when I like heard about it, I was like, okay, this, I don't know, But then watched it and I was like, wait, this is actually really, really creative because they used like the features of Zoom to sort of have scares and stuff. Like they use the like green screen feature or like where you have the digital background. They use that in the film, and so it's a very short movie because like in the movie they use the whole like, oh, you have 40 minutes on Zoom. They use that in the film, so it's very short. The movie came out. It released on Shudder, which is like a horror like Netflix basically. And it got like a lot of attention. Time wrote an article on it, and now that director has like a 3-movie deal with Blumhouse, which is crazy. He made a little movie on Zoom. Well, it's not a little movie. It has like special effects and stuff, but he made a movie on Zoom, and that led to like more work for him, basically. So I like yeah, we're talking about like us being like yeah, it's scary, but also I feel like the way we're working ways around it to be able to like use this time to our advantage because it's scary and I don't know yeah it's just and like they're starting to film again but it's still dangerous. Like allegedly Robert Pattinson got COVID while they were filming the Batman. So
you
like
need to explain that to me because when I saw it in the Word doc, excuse me, I was like, excuse me?
yeah.
Someone there, everybody reported on it, but like I saw it on Twitter. So, but then it was like a bunch of people wrote articles about it. But I guess they had just started like doing Batman again, which is like a huge movie, huge franchise, just huge everything. And I guess somebody like passed it to him, and they had to shut down the set. So.
That person's probably blacklisted from Hollywood now.
Oh, absolutely. They were like, we told you to quarantine. What are you doing? Because I'm sure they had like told them to lock themselves in a hotel room for 2 weeks or something.
But what went wrong? That's what I'm wondering now. Because it's like if they were doing that, like, okay, so how big was the crew? And were they not wearing masks? Were they not testing before, like, they got on set? You know, checking temperature. What went wrong?
That's so scary.
I feel like it should.
And I think that like ties back into like what I was saying earlier, like that's a huge production and they have way more than 12 people on their set. I know it. So it's like, and yeah, there's I can't even think.
But also if Warner Brothers can't keep their actors safe, how can like the smaller studios and smaller productions do it if we don't have all access to all that like equipment and like safety measures?
I guess like the only pros that I could see is that like because it would be like smaller companies and like independent companies, the crew would be a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, actually.
You know?
Yeah.
And like it would still be like we wouldn't have that much crew, and we would probably not. We would be more creative in terms of using less locations. You know what I mean? So instead of like, all right, let's go to New York, let's go here, let's go there, like let's spend money to get on a train and go to this place. You know, we would probably just stay local. That's what I would think. That's my surroundings instead of like putting my crew and my cast in jeopardy by like transporting them to like somewhere else and putting them in that setting.
But then they're losing a lot of money too. Because like there's going to be a lot more halts. Like Batman, I'm sure has lost so much money on like their like lack of time and like having to hold all these things. And like also like I think it's gonna be interesting what movies studios greenlight and like are able to produce, because like the things that they greenlight right now they have to make their money back on it. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be really picky. Like, I forgot how much money they're set to lose, but it's a lot of money. Like, enough for them to ask Congress for relief. Like, that's how much money they are, like, the entertainment industry is losing. It's a huge amount of money. So it's like, I don't even know. Like, I feel like everything is up in the air. And like, the last time I talked to somebody at my old internship, he was like, yeah, I don't know, like it's really up in the air, like everything is going to be changing, and like I don't know, like it's just going to be really interesting how we progress, and I don't think anybody really has a solid idea. Mm-hmm. And I don't like nobody, I think, in the entertainment industry wants to be the first to do anything, to be honest.
That's so true. Oh my
God.
God.
It's going to be a matter of who who gets fed up first and wants to start making the moves. Because
Well,
the Malcolm and Marie thing, that was funded by all the people involved. So that's different. I guess now it's going to have to be like actors and like directors on their own dime putting money into it and then producing it themselves, which is like usually how it goes, but like usually like a studio backs it
yeah.
and then they go into production. But like I guess now like it's up into the hands of the people that have money. So that's even more frustrating.
Well, also like, so another like new show, I guess it's a show that we wanted to talk about was so I saw the ad for this like maybe a month ago and was so confused. So it's called Love in the Time of Corona, and I think it's a Freeform original that like also released on Hulu, but they shot there's so many interesting things about this whole project to me. So basically the characters in it are people who actually live together. So these actors, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
So,
Whoa.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was like 4 different stories. It was like Kim described it like Valentine's Day. Is that what you said?
yeah, Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve,
Those
type
kind
of
of
things connected.
yeah.
I got that too. I got that too for sure.
Yeah.
Because
So
it was like the whole like narrative of like all these different people, but they are like kind of interwoven and like connecting in a strange way. And I was like, this is really those movies for sure.
yeah, and it's not my. I'll be honest. The first like 3 episodes, I was like, this is not for me, and I can't believe that I'm watching this. And then at the fourth, when the 4th episode wrapped up, I was like, wait, I kind of liked it. I liked the message that it was. But did anyone finish it except me?
I didn't finish
I
it.
didn't finish it.
Okay,
I didn't finish it. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Kim told me, she texted me, she's like, hey, me and Daniel are gonna watch Life in the Time of Corona if you want to watch it for the podcast tomorrow. And I was like, what is that? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, definitely had my doubts, because it's just so weird seeing the word Corona in any title right now, especially when it comes to a series, a movie, or anything like that. So when I was like, oh wait, this is an actual show, and I was like, I don't know. And then I did, of course, I like was 2 episodes in. It was a little cringy. I was like texting Kim, I was like, this is a little cheesy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Tommy Dorfman.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Reflection of Gen Z and like millennials right now. Like there's some truth to it. I will not deny, but it is like the utmost like cringy part. Like it's like the straight TikTok of the Gen Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, but also I think if we like that little project in like 20 years, you can look back at it and it'll be like perfectly what is happening. Like what they're talking about, like they mentioned TikTok a couple times. They mention like a lot of timely things that we get because we're literally living through it right now. But in like a couple years, or if you showed it to someone who like if you time traveled to show it to someone 6 months ago, they would have no clue what is going on in the thing. But also, I think that when watching it, I was like, this is terrible. And then when I got to the end, and like, I'm going to tell you guys how it ended because you guys didn't finish it. So the older woman, they go, because her husband was like in a, I don't know what that was, but they were not together because he was like sick.
It was memory care for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and so in the show, it was like in May, and so it hadn't been announced that the stay-at-home order was extending, so like that happens in the show. And so she's like, oh no, we're not gonna have our anniversary party. And so the son takes her to the memory care thing, and they're like looking at each other through the window, and I was like, oh my god. But then the son organized like those like drive through like celebration things that are happening now, and all the other like the white family, and then like the her son, who was one of the other like main characters, they all like drive through and they're like, oh, happy anniversary. And then there's the roommates, which that was the worst storyline. We can just admit it because it was the worst storyline. But I hated the roommate storyline. But the one of the guy, I don't know, there was like a banner that said you can't quarantine love, and that's how like that storyline connected to the main one. And then the old lady sees that. It was very cheesy, but yes, I did get teary-eyed, and I was like, this is the movie. Like I think it should have been a
You
movie.
can't quarantine love.
Kim, it was cute. It was cute, okay? I thought
I
it was...
will say, I did. No, I did cry. I'll tell you when I cried. I
Okay.
cried when the older woman was FaceTiming her
Yes.
husband, and you can see that he's getting much worse because, like, he's like, we're married, and then she literally explains the whole wedding day to him. I literally was bawling because I was like, that is just so, like, you can tell that she was struggling with that in the very beginning, seeing that, like, the love of her life is losing his memory. And I was like, I can't even fathom how hard that would be just in general, but during a pandemic to like not even be able to see him. It's just so hard.
Yeah.
So then kind of like seeing her struggle with like, you know, in the very beginning, it's not as bad. It's still a little bit there, but then like seeing as it gets worse, like she's still there for him and like is reminding him like, yeah, you know, your son, and like, yes,
So patient with him.
That was so, dude, it was so, I was like, this should have been the narrative, like, on its own.
Yes, it was the best.
About them. I think it literally could have just been about them and like their little family. I don't think we needed the divorced family. I don't think we needed the roommate family.
No, definitely not.
I hated the divorced family one. I hated the room one.
I think
like they were so unnecessary.
I think if they wanted to have a divorce storyline in there, I think they could have had the estranged son that moved back in, and that's the reason why he moved back in.
That could have fit in perfectly. Literally, just insert it in there, and it could have been fine. Like honestly, like you know what? No, I was about to say I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. I did not like the daughter of the divorced parents. And she's like, you broke up with me because I was so intense. And I was like, honey, you are. And then when she was like, oh, y'all make me jealous when you go to this Rona party. Bro, I wanted to throw my phone screen. I was serious. And then that friend that she has, not a friend.
Such a bad reflection of, it was such a bad reflection of people our age. Like, yes, people are doing that, but there's a better way to do that. Like, and not make us look like idiots. Like, yeah, it's stupid what she did, but you could have handled that in such a better way.
I know.
Besides her whining about it.
And yeah, that's what annoyed me. She was just whining every single moment. Like, even when she was, like, talking to her, like, when we get the introduction of her and, like, she's talking to her boyfriend, it was so annoying hearing her talk.
Yeah.
Whenever she was trying to be politically, I was like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. And like, it was such a decline. And then like, she goes to the party and then like, oh yeah, your mom's not feeling well. What do you mean she's not feeling well? And like, literally in the back of my head, I was like, that's what you get?
Yeah.
You literally roommate storyline, since we keep on ominously being like, we hate the roommate storyline. The roommate storyline is so problematic.
Wait, do you want me to tell you how it ends?
Yes. Just tell me. I'm not gonna know. Yeah.
Okay. So it's for everyone who is not gonna watch this, and so everyone, it's sorry, but it's true. It's these two roommates. It's this girl and her friend. That's a guy, and he is like exploring his sexuality, and she thought he was gay, but then he's like, actually, I might be into girls. So then she has been in love with him this whole time.
They're non-binary, I think. That's what I got.
Non-binary. Yeah. Sorry, no.
Yeah.
So they're non-binary, and so they like do Tinder dates for each other. Mm-hmm. And so she does not like who they picked for her, but then like they go on a date with some other guy from like Tinder, I think. Is that what happened? I kind of doze off a little bit. And so their little Zoom FaceTime dates are going great, and then hers is not. And then so she like starts a romance with the downstairs neighbor that like showers outside for some reason. Anyway,
though. Note that man's hot. Not enough to like worth watching it. Maybe just skip to like where you see, or you could look up hot shower guy 11 time of Corona. Just look at him, and that's it.
He was so gorgeous. He was so cute.
Oh my god. Anyway,
sweet too. I left something on your doorstep. I was like, oh my god.
Well, okay, so the way that whole storyline wraps up, so the two roommates, they hook up because they get drunk and they hook up. And so Then
annoying.
yeah, and then she's like, "Oh my God, we're in a relationship now," and they're like, "No, no, we're not." And so yeah, and so then she tells shower guy, she's like, "Oh, sorry, my roommate and I are dating now." And then they tell the like the Zoom guy that they're like not in love with the roommate. I don't know. And then she bursts in and she's like, "It's okay. We're not meant to be. We're just friends." And then so shower guy wrote something for her and she was like crying about it. And then she sings him a song and it's like a Corona song. Like she goes like, it's okay that we're 6 feet apart. And I was like,
No, 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 no,
oh
no.
my God. And then so yeah, basically the roommates are that whole thing, there was literally no point to it. Oh, but the Zoom guy does the banner for the what was their name was
Character.
Connor?
Oh.
They had
The one that
name.
the non-binary was it
That roommate.
dating, right?
Oscar was their name. And so the banners is the one that says you can't quarantine love. And so then that's how the older lady sees it at the end, which I liked, okay? I'm not even going to pretend I didn't. I liked the last episode. I liked the ending, and I was like, but yes, it is a bad show. So.
Yeah.
It's just so problematic because it's like they could have done such a positive thing and exploring their sexuality. They could have done such a great thing with it, but then they had to make the roommate be in love with them. Like,
yeah,
I think
don't know.
it could have just been like supportive and like shown a supportive friend, because I think a lot of times we haven't seen that. They could have made like been the first to see that, like seeing a straight friend being supportive to a LGBTQ plus friend and exploring their sexuality, because sexuality is, yeah, like people do that. And I think especially in quarantine, I've seen a lot of people that are like, I don't know, like maybe I like you've had time to like sit with it. So like they could have just done so much better with that.
Yeah.
Really done something. I think
yeah, like there was potential, but it got so muddy because it was like, oh, like they're roommates and like she's acting a little weird, and then like she's acting weird when they say that they're like kind of into girls also. Oh, but then there's a downstairs dude, and then it's like
girls and guys can't be friends, and that is the issue I have. Like that a girl is always gonna have a crush on their friend, and I think that's such a bad thing to push. Is like you can be just in like assuming that somebody that is interested in your gender is gonna like you, like.
And she was being so selfish about it too. Like I didn't like how like,
yes,
like, oh my God, your roommate and your best friend is literally exploring and just like trying, like this is a really hard time right now, and they're just trying to like get on Tinder and like meet someone new, and you're getting all mad that it's like, I'm sorry yours was an asshole and thought that Batman versus Superman was a cinematic masterpiece. That was cringy.
Major Tori Vega vibes from that girl.
Oh yeah, she was.
Oh my God!
Have...
Like I think we all love you. And I was just like literally the scene where she was like, "I'm in love with you." I was like, ugh.
Oh my God! I had to pause. I was like, no. My body went into full body, like this character, guys, like
fight or flight mode.
This character is like actually the worst. I hope this actress gets a redeeming character, because like whatever direction she was given, absolutely, because she's Margaret Qualley's sister, and Margaret Qualley was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's her sister. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. I hope you get better, because I'm not gonna assume it's because she's a bad actress. I'm gonna assume because they only had like, what was it, 2 to 3 days to film this.
They filmed the whole thing in 2 weeks. Yeah, so each little storyline was shot very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it was just like the director and her just like they were just not understanding each other. I'm hoping that's why, and I hope she gets a better project, because that it was just so bad. Especially because I think that's like the first like kind of big thing she's been in. So like, I'm so sorry.
It's just, I think at the end of the day, what I got out of it was that there was some of it just didn't feel real, which was like very disappointing. And the only that felt real was the older woman with her husband.
Yes.
It's like what I'm expecting out of like a show that's gonna, first of all, have the word Corona in it, is that you're going to emotionally make me connect with it, because I am personally in this also. Everyone is.
Yeah.
So everyone watching it should be like, oh yeah, I relate to that. I literally, it's like crazy that the one that really got me was one that I've never, like a situation I've never been in before. You know, I've never had like an older, like, you know, like grandfather or grandmother like be that sick, right? Like here close to me. So it's just like that's the power of like storytelling, where you can write something and have someone empathize, like imagine themselves being in that situation and like emotionally connect to it. And they did such a good job with that one. For whatever reason, I feel like that one was the first one they wrote and took the longest, and everything else was secondary, because I did not relate to the roommate one nor the divorced one. It felt so fake. But I did think that it was interesting that like they remind you, because it was released, I checked, like it was released like last month, like really recently, like in August. But when in the first episode it says first few weeks into quarantine, so they're letting you know exactly what time it is, and like just for you guys to get like feel of what's going on. And it's like so funny how when I was watching it and everyone was like, oh, it'll be fine, and then like it'll be over in May and you can come home, and I was like, see, no, it's not. It's not gonna happen. Like
critique of any freeform / like CW / like Hallmark, Lifetime, whatever, is like the movies that are like, in my opinion, the best, and I feel like generally the best for everybody, is things that show and don't tell. And those movies just tell every single thing.
Yeah.
Everything is told.
Yeah. This is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
No, literally. So
just
I think, I think for what it was, I'm impressed with how much they got done and the quality of what they got done in that short amount of time. I do think a lot of it was forced. And they maybe were just like trying to get something out that were like, look, a Corona themed show, and they were just trying to like,
more about the first than like actually putting out something that mattered.
Yes. So that's why I'm like,
I appreciate the attempt.
Yeah.
What I'm really interested in is when the Zendaya John David Washington movie comes out. It's gonna be a really nice comparison, and I don't want to like be biased, because I love Zendaya and I love John David and I love Sam Levinson, so I don't want to just be like, that one's gonna be better.
But we know it is.
So we know it is. That's the thing.
Sam Levinson has proved himself, like with Euphoria. So like, and like Assassination Nation, like we've seen his style.
It just felt so. Life in the time of Corona felt very distant, and I feel like when you're doing something about family and friends and people that are in the middle of a pandemic, certain intimacy that's happening, and it does feel forced at times, but it's like forcing people to grow closer. So that's just something that I didn't feel that the Freeform show captured, right? It's like I didn't feel in the same bubble with them, and I didn't even feel like any of the characters were in the same bubble as well. It just seemed all very distant, and that's not bad either, because like sometimes it does feel like people that are going to be forced to be together are going to grow distant. But if you're saying first few weeks into the pandemic and you're telling me that, I would think that these people would be a little closer. It just didn't feel connected. So when I'm Sam Levin, hope that they really capture the weird, interesting intimacy that's happening during this pandemic, and how they're gonna like sort of translate that into like the film medium.
Yeah,
they did not do it well, in my opinion, at like Freeform.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's true.
No, it's true. Oh, that's so sad for them. I mean, I wasn't even excited to watch it, but like, because that's just it's just not my kind of. I'm not into like Hallmark. Those kind of rom-coms, not for me. I will say I enjoyed the last 5 minutes. I thought the last 5 minutes were great. I thought they were very touching. And I was like, no, well, I just think
I enjoyed it with that thing.
Yeah, I really liked when it was over. But I don't know. Congrats to them for getting something done during all this crazy time.
True.
But
it must be
try harder. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Can you really be that? Like, it was a very free form thing of them to do.
Yeah. we should have known what we were in for.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah.
But we're still gonna critique it because that's just how.
Yeah. No, that's what it was there for. We had to discuss it. Also, I just got a notification. Candyman got pulled from the October release and oh my god, I don't know how to speak. Indefinitely delayed to 2021. So yeah, they're starting to like. We're not getting any new movies this year.
We're entering the time where things like this is like the movies that will be nominated for Oscars, like that alleged. Like this is the time. Like the best movies come out in this half of the year, and
that's gonna be very interesting. I mean, like, okay, do you guys know Emma? Not the person, just the movie Emma.
Oh yeah.
So I was following that one because I really like that story, and I did the version with Gwyneth Paltrow, and I thought this like the story was always like it's so funny and it's so quirky, and I saw the trailer for it before the pandemic hit, and I was so excited because the costume, the wardrobe design,
Anna
so
Taylor-Joy. What's her name? Anna Taylor.
Anna Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna be.
And then Mia Goth. Oh, like she little precious, like so precious, and like I was just so excited for that. But of course, the pandemic hit. But I did see that they were like gonna release it, and they streamed it. I did stream it on Amazon Prime, and I really wish I saw it in theaters still. Like that was my first experimentation with seeing a movie in quarantine, and I made sure I prepared. I like got a bigger TV at a yard sale, and I like hooked that up because I was like, I need a bigger TV. If I'm gonna be in a pandemic, I need a bigger TV so I can
literally
me with my tiny TV.
Literally.
Like I was like, dude, I've been at yard sales just picking up stuff. So I was so lucky to get this, but it's like the biggest one I've had, and I've tried my best to like make my room my own little theater, but it still doesn't do it justice.
Surround sound next.
I'm looking. Not even gonna. I'm gonna have like speakers drilled
That's
into
so
my
cool.
wall.
That's honestly not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. But like, yeah, Emma was great. Emma was great, but like a part of me, it's just something about watching a movie in quarantine. You really want to pick up your phone because you're in your room and you're not. Because it's like you don't have the overpowering like auditory a notification literally telling you to turn off your phone, right? Like you just have the urge to do it because you know in the type of setting that you are. But it's just it was so hard to not grab my phone, but it was still nice. It's like that I saw in theaters, and that's like so disappointing. And what I'm hoping is that all the films that are being, well, except for Mulan, because obviously I'm not going to watch that one in theaters, even if it is released in theaters. But what I was telling someone the other day is like, I really wish the good ones that are chosen to be released by stream get like a re-release in theaters.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, are you just gonna like let it go, just to TV and like that's it, and like you're not gonna give it a chance?
That's what happened. So, I'm a big Pete Davidson fan.
Ooh,
big fan. And like I was so excited for him because Judd Apatow, first of all, iconic. I'm obsessed with Judd Apatow as well. Directed it, and it's like an off kind of like about basically how they market it is like this is what would happen to Pete Davidson if he didn't find comedy. Is how because I've watched every single interview that I could possibly find.
For King of Staten Island.
For King of Staten Island.
You had to the title.
Sorry,
and I was just so excited. I've been anticipating this for whole freaking ever since they announced it. I've been anticipating it because I was like, I'm ready for Pete Davidson to get his moment. I've been following Pete Davidson ever since he was on Guy Code and ever since he was on Wild 'N Out. Like I have always just loved him. And then like I wanted him so bad to the point where I wrote about every single PR piece in my class about Pete Davidson because I was just like, he's gonna have his moment this year. This is the time for Pete Davidson. Like to finally be released from like the Ariana Grande like drama, and he's gonna become his own like person. And so King of Staten Island was another one of the first movies that decided to release through streaming versus in theaters, which I was so disappointed because I'm like, this is Pete's moment. But I went on Amazon when it came out, the day it came out, because I was so ready. I was like, yes. I was like, no one talk to me. Once it comes out, I'm going to watch it. But then I saw it, and it's $20 to rent. And that's another thing, is like pricing. So I hadn't, I don't have money because I don't have a job. So I was like pushing it off. And then this last week I was like, okay, I just need to do it. Like, I just really want some Pete Davidson content in my life. And like, I've been wanting to support it, and I know I'm going to like it. I went to Target today and I got it.
Oh my God. I was not expecting that.
You haven't seen it? You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Kim.
I'm watching it tonight.
You're gonna fall in love with it.
Oh, I know.
You're gonna fall in love
I know. I'm already like tearing up because I know I'm gonna love it so much.
No, stop.
Let me tell you, the way he made his own vulnerability his own thing, he interpreted his vulnerability in his own way. It was so intimate. It just literally makes you go in and like, this is Pete Davidson's life. And I was just it was so humbling to like.
People have so much more empathy for him, and like empathy for people like him in general, because I feel like people like him get like moody, like he's written as a moody, like bad boy, right? That's like what he's perceived as.
Yeah, and it's like comedy is like too like and like dark.
Yeah,
I love him. He's funny as fuck.
He's funny.
I need to like, here's like, okay, like I'm gonna say it, like he definitely had his moment. And honestly, I'm comparing this to Honey Boy.
Yeah.
Like the Honey Boy. Wow. Like the way that like Shia LaBeouf kind of like, like he wrote this himself, and it was like a form of therapy for him. And like when you watch it, it is autobiographical, and like you're just let in. It's so humbling that he lets you into this story of his life.
Yeah.
And then it's just like so intimate. It's an intimate story about his life. Literally, I felt the same way when I saw King of Staten Island. It was like a very similar kind of, is this a new thing? Like, are all these like people just gonna be, I mean, they shouldn't. Not if you can do it right, but he did it right. He did it perfectly. He did it his own way.
And he had another movie come out at the very beginning of quarantine, Big Time Adolescence.
Oh, and you're right. Yeah.
I watched that. It was like the very beginning of quarantine. And like, I'm just so sad for him, because I feel like him and his team probably were so excited, because like he was finally going to be able to rewrite the narrative about how like people portrayed him from this small relationship he had. Like, and like all of like the mental illness like stuff that he went through this past year, and finally he had two really, I mean, Big Time Adolescence is good, and I'm assuming this is going to be good too. So he had two movies right there in grasp, and he was about to rewrite his narrative, and everybody was about to be like, I'm just so sad for all of these up and coming actors that were gonna have their big break potentially.
But also, I think that Pete Davidson, I think he will still have his, because he's in the new Suicide Squad. Like, he's gonna do fine. Like, he's gonna thrive. I feel it.
TikTok is on his side.
Right.
Maybe I'm just on Pete Davidson TikTok, but like, TikTok loves Pete Davidson.
Yeah, no, they do. I don't think it's just you. I think it's just everyone secretly, like, everyone was like, oh, Pete Davidson. And then, no, everyone loves him, and they should just admit it. But I think how Marilyn was talking about how, like, actors are starting to make, like, oh my God, I was getting completely off topic. Okay, last thing I will say about this. But how actors are starting to make, like, autobiographical stories, and they turn out amazing. Like, I May Destroy You on HBO Max. Amazing. But I think stories like that, we're going to see. Sorry?
Wait, which one on HBO Max?
I May Destroy You. It's Michaela Cole, I believe is her name. But it's a story of how she based it off of her sexual assault, and like how she had to rewrite her life after that.
Am I gonna cry?
The last episode is so good. I don't know. You need to watch it. Everyone go get HBO Max. There's a 7-week free trial. Their episodes are quick. It's one of the best things I've seen like all year, maybe ever. I think.
Get HBO Max when Unpregnant comes out.
Okay, then when you watch Unpregnant, also watch I May Destroy You. But so yeah, and the last thing we wanted to talk about is Dune. Before we wait, did I say that right? Oh my God, I thought I said Doom. Before we sign off.
One note on that. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Oh my God.
so like just like a note on that, like like you saying like people and like we've been talking about people like writing about their lives and their stories. I feel like those are getting a lot of hype and like, and it's very therapeutic for the person. And like I'm currently writing a script about something that happened to me in my life, so like seeing people do that is like really empowering. And like I think for me, like, because I've been going through like ups and downs, and like that's just how it is. Like writing anything, it's like a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of not doing anything. Like for the past month, I haven't done anything. So the fact that you just said like she wrote something about something happened to her, and I'm about to watch this, like I feel like a little motivation. So to anybody out there that is also like a film person and is trying to like express themselves creatively, whether that be screenwriting, art, anything, watch stuff that's about real people and like what real people have gone through, and I think that will help.
Absolutely.
That's my tip.
10 out of 10.
Amen.
Tunes.
Amen.
No, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, Dune. Last thing we talk about. We're already talking like so long, but so the trailer for Dune just came out. And amazing. It looks great.
I got chills watching it.
Dude,
Oh my
I
God.
think I've watched it like 5 times. I need to stop.
I'm so excited. Literally, okay, as soon as I'm not even kidding. Hold on, let me, so I don't break things in my room. As soon as the trailer dropped, I was like, okay, time to order the book.
I literally went on eBay and I was like, all right, I should probably read the book like real quick.
I bought it so fast.
I need to. Like, I definitely have done that, like, with certain movies that are like adapted from like a book that I haven't read. I literally quickly get the book. Last time I did it was If Bill Street Could Talk. I read that whole book so quick before the movie was released. It just connects you to the story even more. Why I'm like, I read Dune.
But mad though, because of like the way they interpret it. I know this is like not a fair comparison at all, but to all the boys I loved before, kiss me off. Kiss me off. The books are so good.
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Oh my God, there's like a lot going on with like Dune, just in general. I mean, there's like a history. Like, this is not the first time that this film has been adapted.
Yeah.
David adapted it. He's literally disowned it because it's literally his least favorite film. It was just like, it got really poor, like reception, and no one liked it. It was just like a lot of bad. He signed the contract and he thought he was gonna have full creative control. He didn't, and he made Dune as best as he could. And I'm not saying that it's bad. If you guys haven't seen the 1980s Dune, it's good, but
they didn't have access to half the things that we do now.
That's true. I think, I mean, for what it was, I still appreciate it because, I mean, like, whenever a director is gonna like set up to like, all right, like here's a book and I'm gonna adapt it into a movie, it's gonna be their own vision, like for sure. And I felt like when I was watching Lynch's Dune, this is David Lynch's Dune. I mean, even if he didn't like it, it's literally his least favorite film. But Dune has a huge following of people. Like, there's a whole like subreddit of like people that are so intensely like obsessed with the book, with Frank Herbert's Dune. So, like, of course, like when I had heard, I don't even know how it happened, but I literally like looked up, I think it was when I was looking up David Lynch's Dune, and then I just looked up Dune and I saw that they were remaking it, and it literally was like production. Like, I had looked it up and it was barely like being made, and I was like, what the fuck?
They're so smart
like,
though, because for me, I do not like science fiction. I normally, if something's science fiction, I'm like, no, I'm really off of that. But the casting department, which is an Oscar category, but the fact that they casted Timothy Chalamet, Jason Momoa, Zendaya, that is why I'm gonna go watch it.
That's why most people are gonna go watch it. It's very smart.
He's gonna watch it.
If you read the comments, there was one comment under the trailer, and it was so funny. And it was like, Warner Brothers was so, how many famous actors do you want in your film? And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally the whole thing. Because when I was like actively following it when I knew that it was being made, when I did have my doubts, because I was like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen to this book, and are in love with the story, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what's gonna happen. But then I found out that Villeneuve, I always butcher his last name, Villeneuve, literally blew 2049 winners. Cario. This guy is probably one of my favorite directors right now. Blade Runner 2049 was definitely such a masterpiece, and like the way that he made that, like he's almost like, he reminds me of Christopher Nolan. He's definitely very particular and so artistic at the same time. That movie is a masterpiece, and with Hans Zimmer on the soundtrack as well. Incredible. Huh?
Oscar Isaac is in this movie.
Soundtrack.
Did you just find out, Kim?
Oscar Timothy, and I was just like, I have hopes for it. Like this,
I definitely knew when it first came out, but I definitely forgot.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like it just looks more true to the book from what I've heard. 100%. I've definitely been doing research. Yeah, and like I just saw a video recently about how his production got impacted by COVID as well, because I guess like his kind of, I don't know if this is like a normal style, but he like films the whole thing and then he starts editing and then he like films like at the same time when he wants to change things, which sounds
complicated. That sounds like something.
I was like, are you crazy? But like he literally said that like he was like on the last few days of like filming, but he was already like started editing. The pandemic hit, and then he was kind of forced to change the way that he was like ending the film. So like he tried to do everything remotely in terms of editing, but I really love the way that he explained it. He said that like there's just like, it's kind of like how it's hard to do that because the people that I edit with, it's almost like we're in a band, and like we need to be in the same room. We need to feel each other's like emotions and like the rhythm. Like editing is like a like there's a rhythm behind editing. Editing is an art, especially if you're doing it like full scale, like a Hollywood film like that big, especially. Like he said that like I guess he has a close relationship with his editors. He said he had constant panic attacks and anxiety like towards the end, because like he was having to like go edit and like, oh I don't like that, and like go back and have to like find and safely have his cast and crew moved to a certain place to like, all right, I want to run that again. That sounds stressful.
Yeah,
that sounds stressful, and I feel bad because it couldn't he had like the effects, and also that's just something to keep in mind. And I'm like, how the heck did he do that?
Yeah, dude,
how?
I'm stressed out. Just like we have one scene left and we have to figure out how Riley's gonna film that by herself in Wisconsin, and like that alone is stressing me out. So I could only imagine a sci-fi movie. Like I think I would just be like, I think we just need to
stop. We just need to. Anyway, have a great day, guys.
I know.
That literally.
Because I can't.
Literally.
So, but he has the resources and the money and the team.
And the brain.
That's true.
And the brain.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's refreshing to know that even if you're successful, you have panic attacks.
That is comforting.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, it was like very humbling. I was having his editors had like become his psychiatrist, because he was constantly supporting Denny and like getting him through it, and like just saying like, hey, like, you know, it's gonna be fine, and like we're gonna finish on time. So they're really trying.
Marilyn, that was you to me on my film.
No, literally.
That was you to me on my film.
Oh my god.
Literally.
It literally. I was like,
voice of reason.
I was like, Ken,
for real.
Oh my god. I was a psychiatrist. I was the on-set psychiatrist in the
credits. In the credits.
But yeah, like it's just Marilyn, makeup, costume psychiatrist.
Honestly,
You should. That'd be so funny.
Noted. Telling Glenna.
Yeah, but as far as Dune, I'm super excited about that one. That one I'd be willing to wait.
Yeah.
That
How
has
do
to
we end
be.
on a positive note?
Did they say
Yeah,
that it
yeah,
was
yeah.
2021?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was too busy looking at everything else.
I think so. Even if I will wait,
Good.
I will
Warner
wait.
Brothers has been kicking.
It was supposed to come out in December 2020. I'm pretty sure originally, but I think they're pushing it because
have
of like
to.
Okay.
they have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, so far right now, he's like trying to meet a deadline. From what I got from the interview, he's like literally rushing and like working like a madman to like finish the editing and like get it in. And I'm like,
That's so stressful.
sir, take your time. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I can wait.
No, literally.
And honestly,
I think
you
we're
should
all
meet
good
the
waiting.
deadline if you need time. I'm good. Listen, wine is like, it's got to be aged for it to be fine. So that's like,
Yes.
I'm willing to wait. I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, just have it released right now. And I'm like, no, I'm willing to wait.
No.
Some things are
We
better
have to
aged.
Yeah, to tie that to what we were speaking about earlier, that movie has to be seen in a theater. That has to be. We need the full experience with Dune.
I might risk.
Yeah, no,
I'll
I
risk
will
it.
not watch that at a drive-in. I will not watch
No.
that at a drive-in. I will not watch that on my TV. I need to hear. Okay, especially for a sci-fi movie, I need to see that because he's all about scale.
Mhm.
Blade
Yes.
Runner 2049, like city with like the little car like going through and floating through. You think I want to see that on my phone or on my TV? No, I want to see a full screen.
I'll wait like 2 weeks after the hype dies down, and I'll go to the morning show. I think that's the safest bet for when it comes out.
That's true.
I know, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I will if it was like Dune or Tenet, and I like was like, okay, like let me go to a morning show. I think I'd do
100%.
Dune.
Okay, yeah. I think we all agree that Dune.
I love Christopher Nolan, but his movies make my brain hurt a little bit.
Well, that's part of the fun, but also like
I kind of like
like
like the hurt for sure.
that's part of
have my
why.
opinions on that.
Yeah.
No, well.
I'm not Christopher Nolan's demographic, so I'll watch it though.
To end on a positive note, we're all excited for Dune, correct? We're all excited for Dune, and we're all excited to see it in theaters in maybe 2 years. I don't know. But hopefully we do get to. Sorry, okay, just kidding. 1 year. Oh my God, Kim almost died right now when I said that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like.
Went into panic mode when I heard 2 years. I was like, hold on, what?
I feel like if I do worst case scenario in my head and then it turns out better, it's like it'll, it's good for the soul, maybe. Because then if I get my hopes up.
But maybe pandemic time, listen, 2 years might be 6 months to me.
Yes. March was yesterday.
I will say that's the only thing that Love in the Time of Corona got accurately was the Corona time. It's like, I don't even know what day it is. And I was like, okay, true. That's totally true.
I forgot it was my mom's birthday today, so.
I know when you said that, I was like, when you said that, I was like, wait, did she forget? And I was like, you know what? It's fine.
I was like, it's already
That
Friday.
too.
Like, what? Anyway.
It's the thought that counts. Well, thank you, Marilyn, for being the first guest ever on our podcast. Where can people find you? Do you want to like plug? We'll also have all that information on our Instagram, our.hollywood, if anyone wants to like look into a little bit more of Marilyn's work and when our short film comes out. But where can people find you if they want to see what you've done?
Well, I do have my oh my God, I literally have not been on social media. I've literally been on binge. I have not been on it in like
honestly good for you. I wish I was not.
I'm honestly pretty great. Like I feel pretty great. So I'm literally trying to remember my right now. But
Do you want me to look it up real quick?
Sure. Kim has both of them. So if you guys want to plug them both in there, it's fine. I can't remember them off the top.
It's like law.grima.
Yeah, it's law.grima, so GRIMA, and then an underscore.
Yes.
That's your Instagram. And then we'll obviously promote that a little bit more on the Instagram so everyone can see.
Marilyn, you should get a letterboxed. It's
yeah.
What is that?
you basically get to you get to like watch, like you get to like star each movie that you've watched, and you get to write like a little funny blurb about it, so you can remember like what you liked.
I don't write anything on it because I'm scared that like someone will find it in the future and be like, Daniel hates this director, so I just like rate it, and also it doesn't have my name on it because I'm scared. But it's fun for like yourself, you know?
It's like a movie diary, essentially, like an online movie diary.
Yes. So for everyone out there listening, Letterboxd is really fun.
Letterboxd sponsor us.
That's so funny that when you guys asked me to be on this, I literally was thinking like, for whatever reason, a year ahead, and I was like, oh wow, watch this take off, and then like you guys have sponsors and everything, and I was literally thinking of like starting this, like, this episode is brought to you by, I don't know, Trader Joe's.
That's so cute. Trader Joe's. So yeah, thank you so much, Marilyn. Again, everyone, you can go check out her stuff, and then as soon as our short film comes out, you can check out her beautiful makeup on all our lead actors. But yeah, everyone stay safe.
Check out my TikTok because I definitely will be posting more
about that as soon when it comes out closer and closer. Yeah. All right, stay safe, everybody.